because there are so many options, so many champions in the game. So introducing these sort of limiting factors adds that layer of excitement.
Well, excitement building now that we are into the Game 3 draft. On's 1v1 win, getting Bilibili Gaming their second blue side game in the critical juncture here. Their Fearless bans are at the bottom there for you, and we are targeting some similar champions, but the Fearless effect is definitely taking hold with the Skarner and Galio bans coming out a bit earlier than we'd seen them previously in this series.
Right. So at this point now, yeah, partially because a lot of other high priority champions are out of that picture. So it makes sense to just start focusing on the things like, okay, these are what the priority are going to be. Just get rid of them, take them out of the picture. And that's why you're seeing like Annie taken away earlier, Galio, Skarner, things like that.
The Fury going to be the last ban coming across here for BLG. Pantheon has been like a very popular new addition to a lot of these junglers' pools. We saw that from Tarzan earlier on today. The Kaisa ban coming across. I wonder if Pantheon is just the B1 slam, to be honest.
I think so. Yeah, that makes the most sense. I'm trying to think of what else really is around in terms of junglers. I mean, Pantheon's up, Wukong is up. I mean, as far as this league, yeah, Sedge, J4. So there,
Yorick.
Maokai, Yorick cover. Oh, Bin's going to take it. All right.
So, we are signaling a clear strategy already for BLG. You talked about it last time. I'll steal a little bit of your thunder when we saw the Yorick.
Please.
One big counter was locking Renekton, spam ganking the hell out of the Yorick.
If so funny. Like, Renekton Pantheon would be so funny.
I mean, if any team's going to commit to that identity, it's IG. But come on, JJ, let's pick TheShy. It can work with the Jack still. You could. It doesn't.
Sure, yeah.
Let's perma gank this Yorick.
Yeah. So Jax is, I think, fine there for TheShy. At this point, you probably just want to take the Pantheon too, and it's nice because you've banned away the Galio. You don't have to really worry about that particular.
Oh, we forgot the Vi snuck through.
Semi-global matching. Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, Vi's is banned all the time. I just assume at this point. But yeah.
Beichuan,
so you do have the global
Vi,
to
and a
play
Kali
with, too.
Knight. Wow.
And I imagine IG, I think at this point, you don't really have to worry about any globals. I think Jiejie will go unmatched.
Unless we don't. Unless we're throwing a Shen support Meiko's way.
That's true.
We're getting real nitty and gritty. What's the pairing here? What's the pairing here for rookie? He knows the mid matchup. Orianna. There's still a Zir. All right, so he's gonna go for the Ori.
Yeah, I mean Vex would have been hilarious, but I don't think the champ's in a good place, even though it is a good matchup. I mean, Ori is fine. Pairs nicely with Pantheon or Jax. They can set up your shockwaves really nicely. You should get a pretty easy lane advantages.
Ball delivery system. Let's see how we can expedite the shipping on that one. I am afraid for our bottom lanes because we have picked full top side. Fearless has taken away a lot of very potent bot lane combos. Like, you already lost to Nico, Kalista, like Varus off the table, Alistair, along with Lucian Nami. So we are going to be dipping pretty deep into the pool.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Ezreal's still up. Xayah is still up. I think Elk might be going that route just because of the amount of all-in IGs already showing. So there are definitely still options, especially with both teams leaning more towards the support pool during this second rotation of bans.
Elk has been has played some of the most games on Ezreal this split. So if it gets through, yeah, I think that's the play. Yeah. I like the safety as well. I think Ezreal is just great for either one of these AD carries. They're definitely both going to be playing Stay Alive. Ezreal Xayah might be the bot lane matchup beatdown.
I think so too. Though the more we talk about it, I think that's just what we're going to end up with. And the more interesting part's just going to be what supports make it through in the end, because a lot of the premier ones have been picked already, and other premier ones have been banned away. I think like right off the top, Nautilus.
Ooh.
Is still up. The Ezreal ban. Interesting. Want to deny that one from Gala. Maybe they want to lead them into the Xayah pick there.
Nautilus, I think Nautilus is a great shout. Lucian cannot be selected, Gala. You played that.
There we go.
You play,
Oh my god, you know, I always forget Tristana is a champion.
You
and
could
is
also go
actually
for the
genuinely good. Ash
Yeah.
is good too.
But they will go for the Xayah. So
Yeah.
Gala locks that one in. You ban the Ezreal. You got to have thought that Xayah would have been the likely response. So Elkanon, what are we cooking, knowing all this info?
Maybe Ash. Maybe Corki, I suppose. Doesn't really like playing into poke very much. But overall, I mean, when I see Vi, I really like when Ash ends up being paired with it too. Really easy setup there with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow from long range.
I don't like this MF. Okay, good.
I mean, I almost never like MF, to be honest. I will say,
it's
if
really
it's
hard.
Elk playing it, I kind of like it. But otherwise, yeah, it doesn't feel great.
Yeah, I just like, you've got no, like, I really like it with Rel banned away, and there isn't any other, like, big AoE tanky setup for MS4. Like, it's Via Kali,
Yeah.
super single target. I would have been a bit afraid of it. Here's the support champ pool getting pinched. We're going for
Oh,
Elise
he's actually
Corki
going for
bottom
it.
lane. All right.
Has played it. Oh, Braum or Kench,
Braum.
literally both are so.
Braum is so,
Mwah.
I mean,
There's a
No,
lot.
no,
There's
no,
a
no.
lot of options, to be honest.
more
Nautilus would
than
be
we
kind of
thought.
boring, but yeah, right. As they're going through the list, I'm like, oh yeah, that would kind of work.
Oh yeah.
Nautilus would definitely be the least inspired of them all, but I mean, it would be fine, I guess.
I do really like Braum because of just how much blocking damage you can do with a Pantheon and a Braum. Like, you can deny a lot of
Yeah.
damage, but they'll go for the Nautilus. They get another surefire engage tool next to the Pantheon to set up the Orianna. And
Yeah.
the Xayah, I really do feel like the Xayah comes out a big winner here for Gala. He does have the most ability to deny BLG the execution of the comp they want to play, I feel, once that ult comes online.
Yeah, that's going to be really important too when you're dealing with the Yorick, therefore Bin on the other side. Because while Jax will have windows earlier on to fight, as time goes on, I mean, we can just keep saying it. Yorick is a split push monstrosity in the side lane. So not only am I, if I'm an IG fan, not only am I hoping that they beat on this Yorick early on, also hoping that they are able to continue beating on him later on in the game with that Grand Starfall.
We've seen a lot of lane swaps to try and neutralize these top laners. Not a lot of very successful dives. Both these teams have been pretty keen on ruining them. So we'll see what is in the cards here for IG to try and shut down the giga-scaling Yorick from Bin here. Game
Yorn
3. yeah. Listen, this is what happens when the sunlight comes out in these broadcasts, all right? It starts messing with my brain waves. The stakes here, folks. This is the final game of the Rumble stage for both of these teams. BLG and IG are locked into their spots, playoffs and play-ins alike. But momentum-wise, IG can carry themselves high with a 6-game series win streak, or BLG ruining that and setting themselves up as the final 12-win team that gets to take a back seat and watch the play-ins. Here we go for one final time on the Rumble stage, BLG versus IG and the Jiejie.
Feels like the fans been waking up now. I remember early on, very top of the show, we weren't really hearing very many fan cheers. Now we're getting them all.
It's the IG super team fandom, and BLG is. These two teams have got. I mean, I think every team we've seen today has a pretty big fan base pool. Maybe AL not as much as the other three, just because they're a lot more storied orgs in the LPL. Nonetheless, yeah, good call out to see the stadium fill out with a lot more Jiejie in action. As we get some pretty basic wording from LPL standards. Both junglers' Raptors camps are going to be marked, but maybe Meiko and Gala looking to get a bit cheeky. I wonder which one of these bottom lanes is stronger level 1, to be honest.
It kind of depends. On has a lot of burst damage on the Elise, but if they are caught unawares, could actually go either way. Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
that's the
nice
perfect
catch.
Dredge line on at about 60% HP, just like that. Electrocute helps with the trade. So everybody's going to relax for now as we do see the skipping of the topside camps here from Jiejie. So he takes his Raptors and then immediately starts on his bot side camps while Beichuan takes the more traditional clear, top to bot.
Makes sense. I think he doesn't. I think Jiejie doesn't want to lose his Raptors, but also wants to just ensure that he's playing towards the side where he can get help when it comes to fighting for the Scuttle Crab. Because right now, in Elk and On, they were always going to have this advantage. So I think it's smart for him to just try and move up like that. And really good move there to clear the ward for Elk and On, to give Beichuan the opportunity to surprise them with the dive if he so chooses.
The final game of the day is the closest the Twitch chatters get there. We saw 59-41. That is the closest margin all day. And nice to see for a game 3 where the stakes may not be as high, but it's still a game 3, a do or die to decide a series. And that brings out the competitiveness even from our loyal chatters.
Very true. Right now, again, things are pretty slow. Just again to talk about.
These Elise lanes, they're never that slow. Just one cocoon, and the burst damage is pretty gross, to be honest. Meiko is forced to reset here and throw another wave under the turret and go for more scouting on this bot side jungle for Jiejie.
Yeah, and right now, expectations, I think, for both teams. IG, again, want to be able to pressure Bin on this Yorick. While he's played the champ a lot, hasn't had the greatest performances on the pick so far here in the Rumble stage, but still, very powerful champion you want to set behind. So Jiejie, even before level 6, expecting lots of ganks top side. Grand Starfall, go up top side. Just beat up this Yorick.
I'm starting to see the tech on this bottom lane factoring in that Yorick. They're just drawing so much attention towards this Elise and Corki. They're shoving waves under, getting positive trades. It's forcing Jiejie to hover that side to make sure there's no dives from Beichuan. And like you called out, you're just buying more minutes where Bin can just scale along, farm up fine, and become that unstoppable threat as Beichuan continues to eye this dive. He's cancels back a couple of times, but the waves are thinned out in the moment for Meiko and Gala. Still going to get the Vault Breaker through as Meiko tries to cover the dive brush. They're going to turn their attention towards Beichuan, who does get root collared up. He gets a shield from his E, needs to flash, goes for it very late, but still able to get out to safety. And now they're going to regress for the dive. They have the Elise really potent in these dives, being able to drop the aggro, but they'll just take the plate instead and try and walk out. But Dredge Line 6 through for Meiko. Here's the all-in coming across the Sunlock onto the Elise. On didn't even get to go into that repel, and it's disastrous for BLG.
Yeah, the attention does force Gala to drop a lot of CS, but at the end of it, a kill for Jiejie, a kill for Gala. That feels really good overall because of that overextension there from BLG.
Finally, we talked a lot about how we haven't seen a lot of dives in this series, and we're learning why. You know things are going good when you can counter an Elise dive in that early game phase. And Gala, who has just been primed for all these early leads, is in another pristine spot. He ran away with it in the Jin game last time.
Yeah, very true. Now has an opportunity to do a little bit of that here with that kill he was able to earn. Seeing some rotations come through is going to force TheShy away from this turret. And it does mean IG forced to drop a little more CS as a result.
I like this. You know, getting that Elise back out onto the Rift and trying to affect as many lanes as possible. It's so powerful in this phase of the game. You need to capitalize on it as much as possible. Meiko doing his best to try and match it across the lanes, but I still think this is a win for IG, knowing that Gala is in a much more commanding spot than Elk. Nonetheless, we're trying to sneak some dragons from Beichuan. Knocking this one down. Meiko has not figured it out just yet, and On is flashing after Meiko to get the cocoon to lock through. Electrocute, Ignite, more than enough for Elk to get the kill with one more auto. That's Dragon and a kill on the way out for Bilibili.
Yeah, it feels really good for them to be able to secure that on top of the objective. Nice flash there for On. His second game, the Elise support. That proficiency is really showing here. As Elk and On have been able to Get a lot of pressure there onto this bottom side with or without the help of Beichuan. And now this Corki who's going to scale and become really powerful later just gets that much more accelerated with 2 kills.
Both AD carries in pristine position. There's another Cocoon going to sink here for On, and Gala has to pop the barrier and the flash, but guess what? Here's the turn from Jiejie. Has the Grand Starfall. There's no way out for Elk, so he desperately tries to trade Gala. No siree. Feats of Warfare right on cue as the first ult from Pantheon is pristine.
Yeah, really good answer there from Jiejie, and that's just something BLG they're going to have to be aware of. They don't have the match for something like that Grand Starfall. So they need to be sure
On
of his location and on goodbye.
Face check. He's going to repel the first hook, but the root comes across on the auto from Meiko. A couple more slams. The Ignite should do it, but the spear pointed right at On's way. And that is a 3-0 Pantheon. IG just as scrappy as game number 2.
Oh, yes. Only saving grace, BLG. He's not going to lose any of that wave. He shows up just in time to collect it all. And Beichuan also, because of that attention there, bottom side, is going to have an easy time securing at least one of these grubs. I think he's going to go, I think he can go for 2 and just walk away.
Got top lane prio. There's a wave crashing mid. Just got to be worried about Jiejie getting close by, but there's no Grand Starfall for now. It's on a timer, and you called it well. Beat down. Just going to go for 2.
Oh, I guess they want 3.
Come back over. They got Maiden. On's here.
Maiden, and they got the wave top side, so easy prio for them.
Yeah, good rotations again from BLG. Both these teams have been much more polished in those early game calls, and it is exciting to see no matter who wins this series for the future postseason of this split too.
Yeah, it is, and
TheShy.
wow, TheShy, he's getting sucked, man. I don't know what to tell you.
The main unrelenting in the suck powers as Beatdown has deemed them.
That's right. And now Owen is here to make sure that wave gets in, and oh no, TheShy. Fortunately, cannot dodge the Yorick E. Gonna get punished for it big time. Meiko's only here to ensure his top laner can actually collect waves.
Yeah, not get dove into infinity by this point. Gold leads very close, though, nonetheless, and a big part of that is these farm leads that both Elk and Bin have started to accrue. So after two games that kind of broke open at this 10-minute point and for clear leads, rather BLG or IG, we are finally somewhat on course for
Oh
a
my
close
god.
game for those
Oh
fights.
my god. Oh my god. I don't think we are anymore. I think that close game is
Yeah,
over now.
Yeah, I slowed down because my eyes were telling me my words were lying to you all. So that is that two different games this series where we've seen a turret drop like near the same time with full plates. It's pretty disgusting. IG are going to just force a turn, though, with that global ultimate power. Owen had no idea. You just can't account for this Pantheon flying on in, and ooh, that one's going to sting for Bin. Does not flash over the fat wall. Nearly makes it a trade nonetheless, but that is a shy double kill and a shutdown of this Yorick.
I mean, it was a really nice response there coming through from Invictus Gaming to be able to minimize a bit what those 5 plates being taken was able to do for BLG. But still, I think Bin collected a lot of gold. And the fact that, in general, despite the trade, this Yorick has become so accelerated, it's still a pretty difficult position, I think, for IG to be in. Because now it's going to be a point where, ooh.
Good flash. Elk gets away from all those feathers. And the blade caller, oh my word, Beichuan. This is a one-way trip, buddy. If it was anybody but Zaya, I like that play. It's anybody but Zaya.
He's just taking a sip of his coffee like, oh, everyone close your eyes, guys. We didn't see that.
Hey, you know, he got both summoners out. That's what we focus on. Oh, never mind. Gala didn't even flash. That's a flash from Ondo. Goodbye, rookie. Doesn't even channel the shockwave in time. And this TP from TheShy, also late to the function.
Yeah, actually, it just isn't going to accomplish much of anything. It should give IG a chance to secure this dragon, considering the recalls. But overall, that's kind of dangerous because someone has to answer It's Yorick. Bin, I'm just staring at this wave that he is stacking on this minimap, and I'm looking at some red pictures to move his way. Okay, Rookie's going to TP. There you go.
Just in time. That turret's gone if Rookie's not up in the
Yeah.
My God. We're really just going to have we are trending towards 2 Yorick domination games, and oh yeah, that's the tech there. Then all right, you TP to my top lane, I TP to your bottom lane. No waves lost for this Yorick.
Yeah, and it's really reflecting in the lead right now. More than 20 CS up on the TheShy. Really approaching 30. And of course, we can't understate the turret gold, the first brick, everything he was able to earn from those plays earlier on. And now BLG, they look like they want to try and maybe go for some kind of dive, but I think this is a little dangerous.
Let me try and get the ghouls close enough. I mean, one Spade Slam, he gets at least a plate. On though, had to repel. Smite not going to find it.
Oh, they're going.
Fall through. They're diving on in for all. There's a TP behind, but this Elise is as good as dead. Can the turn come across, though? This is a very strong Yorick.
Yeah,
and in flies
Knight.
the Knight with the golden left hand, looking to swat down IG. Jiejie first to fall. Cease and assist through for the TheShy. The counter-strike stun will only delay the inevitable. Great turn from Bilibili to clean up that skirmish, and their main prize is going to be more plates and more gold to Bin.
And Bin is just eating good today, as the only real trade is going to be Rookie maybe able to knock down a plate with that wave he stacked in topside, but really it's a small loss compared to what BLG have gained so far. To his credit, Jiejie is the one with the most gold in the game. He is 5-1-3 on the Pantheon, but unfortunately Yorick is a better champion. So yeah, that's just how it goes.
Better.
Yeah.
Hats off to Bilibili as well. I think with the mid-tier one, I think they've been able... No, they haven't really touched any plates there, but nonetheless, as plates drop, they got 10 plates worth of gold, and of course, as we've been talking about, majority of that, if not all, is thanks to Bin.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Caitlyn's in this game with all these turret plates being taken. And it really has amounted to a lot of gold here. I mean, it's worth noting that a lot of the... While the gold difference seems to be, like, very minuscule, if you look at the, like, you know, the aggregate, a lot of that is because Jiejie is actually significantly ahead of Beichuan because of all the kills he's picked up. But doesn't mean that if he's not around, there is no Pantheon, BLG are just much stronger.
Yeah, it's like transferable value of these gold leads, right? And
yeah.
You don't get as much value out of a 1.5k Pantheon ahead as where Bin's at, and maybe we're Knight's heading because that looked too easy. And Maiden kill.
He's getting
oh my
slurped.
God, the goals! He got slurped to death. The Bin did it. Jiejie has to watch his top laner fall. This game is slipping out of the grasp of IG minute by minute.
I mean, we're just talking solo kills from both solo laners in rapid succession. While these waves are getting pushed in, no one can really respond to mid lane as well. So Gala is just there, worrying about the cocoon shot to make sure he doesn't end up going down, but still getting chunked out in the process. So really,
now he loses
he's
his
in
turret.
danger.
Oh, nice Feather Storm. Can't cast it when I lock you down, Beichuan says. Cease and desist, gets the Vault Breaker through. This is the uber aggressive BLG. Talked about it. It's so poetic that the solo lanes get those first 2 kills to set it off, because the solo lanes for BLG are the driving force of this team.
Hey, IG, go away. Go away. You're not
Bad
welcome
fight.
here. Bad. I need a water bottle. I need like a water bottle with a nozzle. Yeah, like. And I mean, this is just Yorick things. There's nothing to say. I don't even know why the TheShy is walking towards him.
That is that's the $1 million question, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe this whole Yorick thing is still fresh. You know, some people haven't quite accepted the power. They're coping a little bit. That's how it goes.
Exact mid game, the BLG won. Again, the gold is close. There's not a huge gap in neutrals, but I just don't. It's not even just answering Bin. It's now answering Knight, because it's like the coin flip of, okay, if you try and go answer Bin, you're just going to be pushed under your turret and lose a bunch of structures, and you lose the 1v1. And if you go try and match Knight right now, who's close to 2 items,
He will kill you.
He will just kill you. Like
Yep.
Rookie is constantly in fear of an all-in from Akali right now.
Yeah, he really is. It's also worth noting, too, that, you know, under a lot of circumstances, because the biggest lead right now is between On and Meiko. And under normal circumstances, if my support has the biggest lead, I'm calling him an inter because he's taking kills needlessly. But this isn't Elise we're talking about. So On has actually been able to rush the Rocket Belt, already has the Seeker's Arm Guard as well. That damage is actually just really good and very useful here for BLG. So, yeah, honestly, the gold is in a lot of great places at the moment here. Beichuan going to use the Herald to put a little more gold in.
They've got the grubs, so they might jump on out, and that tier 2 turret is down. Rookie again, if you step up a little too far, Knight just Rocket Belt's on top of you, drops the whole Akali combo, so there's nothing you can do. The turret falls. Cloud Dragon was a given for Beichuan, so they have the Dragon stacking on their side, and the windows of opportunity are quickly slamming shut for IG in this one.
They are. I'm really tempted to say they are shut, but, you know, it's only 18 minutes. Things can happen. We've seen things. Although Bin is, okay, it depends on Bin's back. I'm going to decide my entire opinion on what he purchases.
Is it your entire? All right.
My entire decision. If he finishes his second item, I'm just going to say GG.
You did cancel that back, so we'll have to wait for this all-in take from Beatdown. You know, the longer he takes it back, the better your odds are, because he's just
very true, because it's going to be a better buy. I mean, if it takes too long, I will no longer base it. What was important to me was how much gold he had, like, right now. And if he doesn't back in the next, like, I don't know, 10 seconds, then I don't care anymore.
Start the timer. Nah, he's not backing. There's no chance. He sees a wave dancer. So, nonetheless, by the time he backs, it's going to be what the. This isn't a Shojin.
Sterix, maybe?
Sterix,
or Shojin. One, I don't know.
Oh,
could be either or.
Sweet Shy. So here's the thing, right? This is, again, IG are back against the wall between rock and hard place, whatever metaphor you want, because they have to swing at least 2 people over to the Shy, Bin, to make sure he doesn't take their every turret they have standing.
Yep.
And by doing that, you open up another bot lane side wave that's pushing against you, and you have a Corki that shreds your mid wave. You're just never in position to contest like anything except your own red buff right now.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. At this point,
took all your points there. Whoopsies.
No, that's okay. It really feels like there isn't a whole lot else to say. IG, you basically want to be playing into a lane that's not Yorick, because unless you commit like four people, you're not going to really get anything effective done. And if you commit 4 people, well, you're going to lose so much elsewhere. But I think they're taking this slow because there aren't very many easy options for them to be playing for. Maybe they just want to farm until they can reach. Oh my god. Farm until they can reach some crucial item break points. I mean, Rookie is really close to his second item. Gala actually already has the Flicker Blade. So the Xayah is feeling pretty good. Maybe IG could use that around this next streak.
Yeah, but the push and pull is already coming through. We do see the Bin. Did get a reset in. He's going to head back topside. He does have teleport. Beichuan, very aggro, going to start the Opticon on his own. They have so many advancing boards, though. They just perfectly track Jiejie and Gala. So while this is a slow start, the finish will come across a bit quicker here as Elk will help shred it. They're going to TP in Bin, though, as IG are starting to posture to try and get in for this Opticon, but it is a burning away. And before they even get a look at it, Opticon goes the way of BLG, and they will just run their way out. I can't believe I'm saying this. They don't want to fight. They don't need to fight.
Well, you're right that they don't need to. And to be honest, it's fine to walk away, too. I'm surprised TheShy actually goes for that TP. It was over before he channeled it. Oh, are we just sending it?
We're 5-manning for a tier 1 turret. They get a 2-man shockwave onto Elk and Beichuan. That's going to earn them the turret, so all right.
Sure. That's technically League of Legends.
They got some flashes. I mean, you got Elk's flash.
They got Elk's flash. They got Beichuan's flash, too. That was a thing. But honestly, it gets them very little. All that for a tier 1, some flashes. At the end of it, map still not in a really great position for them. Someone needs to answer top. Someone needs to answer mid. They have no real vision around this bottom dragon. It isn't going to be BLG Soul. but it is going to be Soul Point. So I think it's just going to be more of IG conceding objectives.
This is very similar to Game 1, where BLG are just dragging IG all around the map, and they don't feel confident in making any plays for a comp that once again is designed to fight. Like, this comp was drafted to bank on these constant Pantheon engages with Orianna Shockwaves. You do obviously have the scaling of a Xayah and a Jax, but that's not present here, and Knight's about to show you why, at least for the shy point, as he starts throwing hands. Problem for Knight is that Jiejie, oh my god, they have all of IG. This is a 4-man on tonight. This guy, all right, the wave's not even here.
It was to clear the wave. It was to clear the wave.
Okay, all right, so they get the wave up. Knight, oh, the flash does not come before the stun. A good try to sneak on out, but he will fall along with that tier 1 turret. They're going to give away that Cloud Soul Drake up to Cloud Soul Point. So at least this time around, IG are cross-mapping to try and even out some of these plays.
I mean, this is exactly what I was talking about, to be fair. Like, you can't make this kind of play onto Yorick. It's going to be too costly. It's going to take too long. So Knight is really your only option there inside lane. It works. They get a kill. They get a turret. And it only really cost them a dragon that they were never going to get in the first place. So I think that's the best available play there for IG. And I appreciate that they went for that instead of fighting for something they would have lost.
There we go. The interventions making improvements in this series.
I think so. I think so. Maybe they've admitted they've had a problem.
That's the first step.
Yes.
I think this is the first intervention I've ever run. I'm going to be real.
They're not fun. Never do them. They never work.
Never do them. They never work. But I thought we were talking about that it is working right now.
I mean, we're talking about real ones.
Yeah, I know.
But when it comes to LPL team interventions, you're 1 for 1, buddy. 100% win rate.
All right. I'm Quinn while I'm ahead. Please do not fight a bad fight here, IG, or I lose all my credibility.
It's literally all gone in one fell swoop. It would be terrible.
Let's see. Baron up in 40 seconds. Sideways aren't in a terrible spot yet for IG, but Knight is shoving away at this bot side that someone's going to have to go answer. Looks like it might be Gala. No, he's going to cancel his reset, so big wave coming crashing in. I do see that Rookie is in base, so he will answer that nonetheless. But again, the push, the pull, the jockeying of IG's positioning on the map is so critical to some of these lane states that if they are overloading to cover bot side, I don't see why BLG don't just pull the trigger on a Baron play.
Yeah, they very much could. Right now, I mean, we're seeing more items come through. Gala, to his credit, despite how this game has been going, is very strong. Has reached that 3rd item. So I think at this point, you just want to bring him to an even numbers or maybe slightly in your favor numbers play and try and use that damage he's built up to create some kind of advantage. It's tough because, again, you have to ignore Bin. It's just not an option for you. You just have to see what else you can go. You can go for whatever Meiko can fish for.
Now you don't really have the option to try and punish Knight either. Like, that was the original play. It's Beichuan. Looking for a way in. Good damage from onto Gala. He has the red buff, so he'll have to heal up a bit here. This Knight swings on in from the bot side, and Big gets another wave in, but yeah, this is the real pain for IG. Is just those waves are trickling down that tier 3 turret, and as long as Baron's up, if you ever overload to kill off Knight, BLG just pull the trigger on the purple worm.
Pretty much. That's the problem too, because IG and the map, this is exactly like game 1, where the map is just not favorable for them. They don't have good side lane matchups, so they can't reasonably push out a side lane, which doesn't really let them interact much with mid lane past their tier 2 turret. So they haven't been able to do a whole lot in terms of objective setup around neutrals. It really is just, you know, move as a group, place down one pink ward. Okay, guys, run.
Get back. We'll reset again in a little bit. But, yeah. I mean, again, I talked about it a bit before we got into this game, or maybe it was into game 2, with, like, this is also eerily similar to the Weibo game 3, where they were just constantly denying IG, their team fight based comp, or just their game state in general, this is really valuable tape for any team that is going to match up against IG. Heck, even like EDG, right? Like, they're definitely watching, knowing this is their matchup. That
True.
if you want to try and disrupt IG's style, these are the types of comps you have to play. It still comes down to executing that early game phase, but if you do, if you're in even a neutral state, like, IG are pretty lost.
It feels like they are. Pings coming through means they want to fight for this next Drake. It is Cloud Soul for BLG, so they have to try and do something. That's why they actually are kind of in an okay spot. They're able to push top a little further than they have the last like 10 minutes or so. So now should give them a pretty decent opportunity to go for Drake. But of course, BLG, they don't care. They have enough damage. They can take Baron really quickly, so IG unfortunately have to respond.
Yeah, it's like, we dare you to trade a Cloud Drake for Baron right now. Like, that's,
yeah, that would be so funny.
It's just, it's not a trade they can make. So they're going to force the TP out of TheShy, who's below a 5k Baron HP, and the Maiden is not letting it reset. On isn't either. Finally, it comes through. BLG will take the win of getting that TP out of TheShy and calm things back down, but they've lost track towards the mid lane. And with Demolish, down goes that turret. BLG look for a fight angle in. On dashes forward a little bit precariously. He has the stasis and the repel available. Flank coming out for Beichuan. Maybe BLG finally do want to fight a 5v5 in IG's wheelhouse, but without Meiko even healthy enough to try and add to the fire. The battle lines not going to force anything further for now. IG continue to backpedal as TheShy tries to hold off any sort of flank angles. Now we jockey around the Cloud Soul, but IG, they really just aren't in a position to ever fight this one. And boy, did Knight show them why, bopping them down with the golden left hand for Bilibili Gaming. It took forever for a fight to break out, but when it came, it was a wash. Down fall IG just like that. An ace at the 29th minute mark.
And a big ace at that, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be the end of the series here. Slayer, the spawn timers are too long, and while it wasn't as fast as what we're used to, it ended up being pretty exciting.
The series had no lasting stakes on your group ascent standings, but momentum-wise, down falls the IG win streak in two defiantly dominating games for BLG. They play the map better, and they go into playoffs 12-6.
And they sure do. And again, it really wasn't just about, it wasn't about any standings. The standings for these teams were locked. It was just about scrapping it out for the love of the game, Slayer. And you love to see it. And it was exciting, too, to see some good moments there from IG, particularly in that game, too. And great to see BLG in games 1 and 3 and how well they were able to draft a good map, a good draft for themselves, and play the map as well as they did. And I think BLG is definitely a team to be excited about going into playoffs.
Yeah, I think the sentiment that we take away from today is, for both our series, Beatdown is like, we had set expectations, a lot of tape on, because remember, 18 best of threes, a lot of tape on both BLG and Jiejie, and these, in our head, these expectations of how their games are going to play out. And in a lot of ways, they exceeded them. Like, we talked about Jiejie already, so I'll focus on BLG.
Yeah.
Like, a part of my heart is torn because I'm like, we saw the clips of the first series where they were just scrapping out all these fun team fights. I get a play-by-play scream a bunch. And now we're here where it was like really fluid, slow macro developing play, which sucks for the fighting side of it, but for BLG stocks going into playoffs, knowing they can win series playing that way is very exciting.
Yeah, I think so too, and it is a really good look to see again how they'll be able to play against the other top teams there once they go into playoffs. Of course, they're one of the teams that are locked. IG are not, so IG will have, or rather, BLG will have to wait a little bit before they get another chance to play throughout playoffs.
But the big question, the glaring question here for IG is, what can we do to start kind of fixing, getting stuck in a rut and falling down in these holes into a composition style that is ever growing? Like, these Yorick comps are not disappearing anytime for playoffs. So IG, we talked about, like, both these BLG games, the Weibo series that they lost that would have made a difference maybe for their playoff spot. Like, how many teams are going to punish them by playing this style, and how do they figure out to beat it? It's a big question, I know.
Yeah, it's tough. I honestly think the big thing is that the problem seems to be a lot of the same for IG, and again, it's just not really having a clear idea on what they can and can't do. And there was less so of that in this final game, but I think in games 1 and 2, a lot of overextensions for plays that simply were just never going to work, and objectives that you had no business fighting for. And I think that, especially here in the LPL, is going to hurt you more than anything else.
It's tough because the verbiage used was great, like finding out what things you can and can't do. But there's also the added caveat that you also can't do nothing. And that's what happened. They kind of just did nothing in that last game. And you saw the result.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing left, I think, for us to do is look at standings again, just to take one final look before the show ends up being done. And just to really, again, just solidify the fact that JDG, in their win today, they do lock themselves into 3rd place. That was really the only potential for movement we had on the day. Our top 4 is locked. Our top 5, technically, is locked. So the top 4 of Group Ascend, of course, are going to go straight to playoffs. They're going to pass go, collect their $200, and just hang out while the nerds and the bottom half of Ascend and the top 2 of Nirvana play play-ins.
Yeah, they play an extra best-of-5 series, which is hilarious because Split 1 was all about, hey, guys, we're just playing best-of-5s the whole time. You play some group best-of-5s, you play some playoffs best-of-5s. Yeah. These teams haven't seen best-of-5 since then. It's been a BO1 round robin. You know, you had best-of-3 play-in stage for the Nirvana teams, and then you had a bunch of best-of-3. So it's been a while since we've seen LPL teams playing the BO5 gauntlet. I'm excited to get back to it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting one on that front. I think, honestly, playoffs, I wanted to ask you, what are you most excited about in playoffs?
I am excited to see which teams heighten themselves back up to these ceilings we preach about. Because right now, I think the playoffs are going to be a lot more wide open than the Ascent standings give it away, right? Because Ascent standings say, like, top esports AL have been clearly the best teams for a while, but JDG have been leveling up. BLG have looked awesome since Beichuan came around. I think there are, in my head right now, there are 4 clear teams that I think could be in the LPL finals for this split.
Ooh, exciting. Which 4?
I mean, it's the top 4 that we have.
Okay, fair.
So
I thought you had something spicy to say.
Yeah. I think for some people, some people might find it spicy enough that I'm saying that, BLG and JG could make a finals run. So, but yeah, it's not. I'm not going to come out here and say Weibo Gaming are about to run from the play-in bracket all the way to the finals. Like, a little more mellow.
That'd be fair. I can respect that. I mean, looking back at these last bit of highlights, too, for the day, it wasn't quite the 50-kill banger we were hoping for, but I think there was still a lot of excitement in the end. Yeah, we did. Especially in Game 1, I think, was where we had the most kills. Yep.
And this Game 3 had one major fight. We like to label, like, team fights and skirmishes. There were a bunch of skirmishes, but this was the one fight that really blew things open. So congratulations to BLG. MVP talk. I think this is hard, a bit difficult again with how slow and methodical it played. I feel like the cop-out answer is kind of Bin.
It's probably just going to be Bin.
Yeah, okay.
It's probably just going to be Bin.
So Bin's going to finish that one out.
Or it might be On. I might give it to On. I actually think the Elise was really good.
I do think one of these 2 wins for BLG On deserved a player of the game. It's funny because I think the Nico was more impactful than the Elise was here, but
fair.
Does the Elise get it? Nope. We're gonna give it a Knight. Hey, one team fight multi kill is enough to get this guy a player of the game. That's the agenda we're pushing.
Yeah, fair enough. I think he played it pretty well in the end. Had a good matchup for him outside of lane, so it definitely feels good to play that one. But I think overall it was a really good series from Knight 2, and good to see that continued success from him and the team overall, especially since Beichuan has joined the roster.
All right, well, Beatdown, you've gotten through. We did it together, my friend. 5 games, an LPL day done. The last thing I want to do before we shout out some special coffee supporters is talk about the final day of the Rumble stage. We're there. It is soon coming, and the important matchup to talk about because you have NIP versus TT. Those two teams are locked 9-10. Like, they're not moving at all. WE Weibo, the only thing left for any sort of standing shenanigans is Weibo and WE are playing for the 6th spot, which is important because it is the difference between playing a Group Nirvana team or playing Thunder Talk. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, there you go. So still some pretty important matches coming up over these next few days. And actually, I think, is tomorrow the last day?
Just one day. Wow,
Just one
last
day left,
tomorrow. Yeah.
So there's actually only one day left, and then play-in start next week. How crazy is that?
It is mind-boggling that we finally got here. I believe we're going to end 40-something, mid-40s worth of days of Rumble stage. That is something else. Wow, what a journey it has been. And a big part of that journey here for the LPL English unofficial broadcast has been our Elite Coffee supporters. So before we get out of here, I want to say thank you very much to Aaron Soup, Mong, and Forrest. Without their pledged financial contributions, help level up the broadcast and give back to the cast crew who strive to give you an English LPL product every single day. We love, adore, and support all of you out there. You know, the normal coffee supporters, YouTube subscribers, Twitch subscribers, even everybody just in the chat supporting us here in this volunteer project. But a special shout out goes to those 3 Elite Coffee supporters. Big shout out goes to Beatdown. It was an absolute pleasure, my friend, to get the first cast with you and go 5 games deep into the LPL day. I know it is 10 a.m. over there. What are your final words before you hit the hay like me?
I had fun. I came on because it was like a sub situation, but it was fun. It was fun to do it. I'm glad I got to do it with you, Slayer. Again, we kind of avoided each other, ships in the night, if you will. I know you love that phrase. Now we finally get to work together. And we lost them, guys. What can you do?
The first of many more, I hope, beat down. But for everyone at home, we will see you tomorrow for the final day of LPL action. Special shout out to Kelsey, our producer behind the scenes. But we are out of here. There may be sunlight outside of our windows, but it is bedtime for us. See you for the final day of Rumble stage tomorrow.